Welcome to Voice Bootcamp, a global name in unified communication. In this particular chapter, I'm going to provide an introduction to Cisco Voice Port, Codec's digital signal processor. Voice port is one of the most important part of Cisco voice gateways. A voice port allows the Cisco voice gateways to interconnect to different service provider or devices. You have two types of voice port in Cisco router, an analog port and a digital port. An analog port is known as FXS or FXO. FXS stands for Foreign Exchange Station, FXO stands for Foreign Exchange Office. Digital port, on the other hand, provides T1 and E1 service up to 23 to 30 channel depending on which one you use. An FXS interface, which allows a Cisco router, connects to an endpoint such as an analog phone using RJ11 cable, which connects directly to an analog phone or fax machine or a modem. Now in this case, the Cisco router provides the provision local services such as assigning extension to the phone, providing dial tone, providing call progress tone such as ringing and ringback. So it's basically act as a service central office. Now in the Cisco router, to assign an extension to the phone, we must create dial pairs. A dial pair allows us to assign an extension to that particular port. So when this router receives a call to an extension called 2101, the router will instruct the process to send the calls to this particular port by sending a voltage on this particular port. The voltage will come across the cable into the phone, which will ultimately generate enough power to ring the phone. So user answers the call, the loop of how the current is flowing will get closed, and therefore the call is connected. When the phone is to make a phone call, all the phone has to do is pick up the handset, dial the number. If the router knows how to reach that number, the router will take the necessary steps to complete the call. FXO port, on the other hand, is an analog port that allows you to connect a Cisco router to a service provider or a telco, which connects directly to an office equipment. Could be in a PVX at your office, or it could be a PVX in the service provider network. It is used to make and receive calls from PSTN, and it can be used to connect through PSTN to another site by dialing through the PSTN. Typically, an FXO port will answer an inbound call by default unless you make some necessary configuration so that the router does not answer the call by default and let the call pass through. Now, just like FXS, to